hot down here. I don't know if the mic's picking up. The dog's breathing heavily back here.
I was like, that's not me this time.
Phooey. Phooey, Spencer.
Oh, Fooey?
Hey.
Did you remember?
I did remember because I don't know what I was going to say to start with an S, but I remember, I think it was last week, we talked about books.
Yeah.
And then somehow we got into Murakami books, and I was rating them.
Right.
My rating of Murakami books. And I said in the episode that I didn't like Sputnik Sweetheart, and then South of the Border, West of the, whatever the fuck that one's called. I was like, oh, no, that's the one that was like romantic slop that I didn't care for. I was like, I don't remember Sputnik Sweetheart. Well, I looked it up today, and apparently I did like it. I gave it 4 stars.
Oh.
But I don't remember. Like, I read the synopsis, and I was like, I don't remember this at all. So still must not have been very memorable.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
But it was good.
Maybe it'd be one of those things like once you start reading it, maybe that will,
And then I can go, I am not going to finish reading this, but I'm glad I read the first page and remembered.
Because, like, I know, like, with, like, comics, I'll forget something, but, like, if I'll go flip through, like, the back issues or, like, the trade or something, once I start seeing it, it's like, oh, okay, kind of, like, resurfaces the memory.
Yeah. Today, I got in the mail, I ordered which it came a lot faster than the initial one did, the Vermis 3.
Okay.
You know, those video game books. They had a special edition come out. Because you know how I reordered the paperback ones I had for the first 2 and got them in hardback?
Right.
Well, this one's like a, embossed cover, and it's bigger and it's nice. So I got that in the mail today, so I was very excited to get book mail. But then I was like, well, now I got to put those on my anime shelf down here or my manga shelf, because where else am I going to put them?
And they kind of go to, they fit the same kind of.
Yeah, they're picture books.
Yeah.
Funny picture books. Well, I was like, I need to rearrange some things. So I grabbed the old Vermis. I had the 2 hardbacks upstairs. And I was like, I've been having the paperbacks on the shelf. And I was like, I need to switch them out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they were under a stack of books on the top of my bookshelf. And I fucking had a fall. Everything fell on me. I found all these comics I had hidden up there. And I had this big fucking mess. So I reorganized a little bit up there. But then I brought the stuff down here. And I was like, okay, now I find a way to put these on the shelf down here, this little shelf. So I put not the paperbacks I don't like either, ones I've read, ones that I'm never going to read, like I don't know, because there was a while we were buying like random indie books at like shows and stuff.
Right.
I'm never gonna get to these, and just different things.
Or our guests.
Yeah, our guest. Anyway, so I put like all that on that shelf by the podcast table, and I still have this bag of comic shit over here, and I was like, I don't have anywhere to put it now, so I can't get any more trades apparently. So I don't know if I could go to book club ever again, because I can't fit trades anywhere. Thinking about a bookshelf, Spencer, for down here, another one. But where? The only space I have is next to this one.
Well, I thought, wasn't we before talking about maybe like putting one here at what would be the edge of our table? As almost
like a double-ended bookshelf.
Ooh, I wasn't thinking about double-ended, but
well, why the fuck wouldn't it? Because it's open on both sides.
Right. But because we were talking about having that almost kind of be like the fourth wall of our,
studio. I don't know how to do. I mean, I guess I don't have to have a built-in one. I could just have like one that's long and.
Yeah, you just have to make sure you measure how much room, because this part of your ceiling goes down a little bit farther than the other parts.
But it would also have to be the right length. And then I could always move that one over a little and have it come out. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
We fucking have so many more books.
Yeah.
I don't need to do that, but I'm gonna. At some point.
Did you say it the day before we go to a bookstore?
Yeah, I'm looking for records though.
Okay, but
piss off Bryce with this bit of talk. Yeah, so I'm a record guy now, Spencer. Got a record player, vinyl records.
What are they?
Vinyl records. What did fucking Bryce call them? Artisanal music disc, which made me almost stop listening to records cold turkey.
Start breaking them.
They're not artisanal. Shut up. They're still mass produced by some kind of industry. I mean, I'm sure. No, most musicians aren't pressing their own vinyls. Somebody's making these fucking dumb. I don't like that artisanal talk. But anyway, artisanal music disc aside, I have been getting some vinyls. I got them for the wife initially, and I started getting my own. And now I think I want to get some sweet jazz albums. Yeah, because I got John Coltrane's Giant Steps, and I just pre-ordered a new artist I found on an ad that I end up really liking.
It's a real person?
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is not... Yeah, they actually have videos of them singing. assuming those aren't AI. But I was like, oh, this guy must be real popular because, I kept seeing the ads on Facebook and Instagram for the album. And then I looked him up and he only has like 14,000 Instagram followers.
Oh, wow.
And like everything he posts gets like 10 likes. I'm like, oh, this guy's not that much more famous than me, probably. So get on the early. Get on early, as they say. And anyway, so I pre-ordered his album, which is pretty cool. I think that'll come at the end of the month. But I want to pick up some more jazz albums so I can have some easy listening.
We could get you some Wu-Tang albums.
I could, but I don't feel like I'm going to listen to those.
You don't think you
when I'm doing stuff around the house, see the thing with the record players, that's more just like a chill.
Right.
Like you're not going around cleaning and doing shit. Like it's just in the room that you're in, not portable necessarily. So I don't generally want to listen to gangsta rap. I usually listen to like Wu-Tang stuff when I'm in the gym or when I'm driving. But see, anymore I can't even listen to that when I'm driving because I get too aggressive.
Can you imagine dragging the fucking record player to the gym so you can listen? It'd be fucking better than the radio.
Fucking yeah, so I could put on some fog hat, fucking some Steely Dan, because the old guys at our gym only play the oldest fucking shit, the worst workout music. Let's listen to some Journey. That'd be hard for them,
right?
Or some Eagles. That'd be hardcore music for that place.
It's the kind of music that makes like the music in like the Richard Simmons workout like heavy metal.
Yeah. God damn it! I don't know why they do that, but it's fucking pissing me off. Every time I'm there, one of those old guys is there that plays that shit.
Well, isn't that like a gym stereotype? Is like the music is that's why you always gotta bring your headphones is because like
but ours is a private club.
Yeah,
it's not supposed to be that kind of gym. It's supposed to be like a fucking at least a metalhead gym, if anything.
You would think.
I mean, we got a couple guys bring boom boxes and play metal music, but years ago before you joined, we had a guy that would use his personal something. I'm assuming his phone or something. He somehow hooked up to the gym system.
Okay.
And just blasted like death metal super loud, and he did it every Sunday, and he got kicked out.
Well, I think like the radio player has like an adapter for your phone.
I never look at it. The only time I ever look at that thing is when I fucking hit the off button.
It's never the on button. It's the
never the on button. They can't even put on like any classic rock fucking station or something. Anything that has anything that could possibly make your blood move.
You going. Some Rob Zombie or something.
Dude, I'd rather listen to fucking Katy Perry at Planet Fitness than that shit. Yeah, Rob Zombie, something. No, they want to play fucking the oldest. Let's listen to Frank Sinatra. No, that would even be too hard. I don't know what it is they're playing, but it makes Perry Como look like a fucking metal singer.
Well, and it's also so very softly played that somehow you can barely hear it, but it's deafening all at the same time.
It like worms into your fucking brain, but you can never hear the lyrics.
It's just a fog of music in your head.
Just seeps into your fucking subconscious somehow and pisses you off, but not in a way that helps your fucking workout at all. It doesn't aid you in any way. So anyway, I want to go get some records tomorrow. It sucks because I actually have some in mind that I've been looking, but you can't find them anywhere apparently. Or they're like, oh, this is $500. Like, why?
Yeah.
Some fucking offshoot thing I've been listening to. Like I was listening to some kind of German ambient jazz group, but like the music is like think of, and I would use this if I was writing or something. It's like background music. Think of like a jazz noir from a detective movie or something.
Okay.
Or a detective video game maybe, like that kind of stuff. And it's like, oh, that's cool. It's not necessarily like just straight jazz music. It's like an ambiance. I was like, I like listening to stuff like that when I'm, writing or just thinking or whatever. Of course, I can find every album but the ones I want.
Yeah.
It's like, great. The most popular album is the one that you can't get because they don't sell it for some reason.
Let's see, is there a record store like around here?
There's that record cafe shop that Bryce has his writing group in.
Oh, yeah.
I went there once a while ago.
There gotta be some places in Pittsburgh,
it's
right?
Pretty small. Yeah, they have full record shops in Pittsburgh. It sucks because I remember we used to have it was probably when I was a kid, but we had a record store uptown. And we could it was like in a dirty basement, which I liked.
Yeah.
We used to go in there and I didn't have any idea about records or anything. I think it might have CDs too, maybe I bought there, but like you could just look through and it was cool. But yeah, Pittsburgh has a bunch of record shops, and maybe like up past Dormont they have stuff like in a area that's more like a little closer, but I'm not doing all that. I'm not that guy.
Right.
Just order them.
But do you worry about that? Like ordering a record?
I mean, I've gotten like all the ones I got from India I ordered.
How are they packaged?
Well, the thing is about records, so they're already in that hard cover.
Oh yeah.
And then if they put them in like a box of some sort, it seems to be fine.
Okay.
You just get like they usually, at least the ones I've ordered, have like a warranty if it's injured, or not a warranty, but some kind of like insurance. It's like, oh, if it's busted, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Because they're fragile-ish.
Right.
I mean, it says record on it, so I don't think any fucking mailman's like, yeah.
Well, I mean,
it's FedEx maybe.
Yeah.
FedEx are fucking idiots. Like they just yeet. Like I've had them like block my door so I can't open it.
You should have Colin show you some of the pictures of his comics being delivered from
Just fucking
UPS and FedEx and shit. Like,
here's your precious books, dickhead. Chuck right through the fucking window.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's the other news I had for you, Spencer? I don't remember. I'm still waiting to hear back from Starlight as of, what's today's date?
The
17th? 16th?
17th.
18th?
17th.
April 17th, 2026, the year of our
Could've
Lord.
just looked at your TV or your computer.
It's literally on my computer right in front of my face. Anyway, I have a Fitbit. I have so many options. And I guessed.
That you apparently can't do a workout without.
Well, that's how I think you could tell, like, our age group from the Gen Z is if you ask Gen Z anything, immediately look at the phone.
Yeah.
Like, what's the date? What's the time? Immediately look at what's the address? What are directions? But people our age, we like to go, well, I think what you do is you take 79 north. Like, they just fucking just make up shit instead of just easily looking on our phone.
Yeah.
You'll have whole conversations in the last 25 minutes about like an address of something. No, I think that's by that place. No, I was pretty sure it's down from that place. When you could just, there it is.
I could have sworn that commercial had this in it. No, I think that this happened, and it's
who was the actor in Pulp Fiction that overdosed? Oh, I know it.
Yeah.
You could look it up. You can look anything up, but we don't because we try to use our brains. I think that's a significant thing though. For our age group is that we still try to use our brains, even if it's information we could easily get off the internet. Whereas Gen Z don't use their brains at all a lot of the time, and I think it makes them dumber.
Dude, that was that one thing you sent me with those kids like now in school now.
Oh my god,
they can't do anything.
No, they're illiterate, like they can read, I guess technically, but yeah, they can't. They just can't function.
Yeah, they have.
If you take their phone away, they freak out.
They have no attention span. You have that they need constant stimulation.
What really fucking hurt my soul was like I think it was a high school example of like high school kids or middle school kids or something, and the teacher was reading, I don't even know, it was like an essay or a book report or just fucking, I don't know, it was just like something like, hey, how was your summer? I was like, my summer was good. It was good because I had fun. But it was like they're like in 12th grade or something.
Oh god.
I was like, what group was that? Was that had to be special needs, right? They couldn't have been regular students.
High honors.
Oh, yeah. That was their pre-calculus class. Anyway, Spencer, we are talking about the road today.
Yes.
Specifically. Don't interrupt me. Don't fucking talk over me. Sorry, I've started doing roids when you weren't around. They're not working, but they're making me angry. We're talking about the graphic novel adaptation.
I think did we have an episode on the actual novel, or did we probably just talked about it in one of the times we talked about McCarthy?
I am pretty sure we had an episode on Blood Meridian, and it went so poorly for us in the reading of Blood Meridian that we never did another Cormac McCarthy anything.
Well, I thought because like after I read it,
we probably talked about it,
but maybe I did like an actual episode on it.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. How do I know? Will I run the show or
it's
something?
Like, we could look it up and see if we did an episode.
No, we could fucking reminisce and ramble on half-remembered ideas that we've done over the years until we come to a illogical conclusion that has no facts, is not based on any kind of facts, and we just we did a whole we did a book of the month on it, and then we never did,
and then just end the episode,
and then the episode's over. And then if somebody looks on our fucking looks on their phone, the road, they just search on the DPW podcast on Podbean or wherever you get your podcast, and they just go nah, they didn't do that.
Not there.
The 7 episodes on Neil Gaiman tub stuff. They didn't do episode on the road. Anyway, we'll be talking about that in a minute. And then I don't know if the episode will go very long because it's a graphic novel with very few words. And then we might ramble on some more, and then that'll be the end. Does that sound good to you?
Yes.
Sounds great to me. are listening to the Drunken Pen Writing Podcast. I'm your host, Caleb James. With me, as always, Spencer, the Nebraska Nugget Nuzzler Church. I actually was going to say nibbler, but that seems harsh because I don't know what kind of nuggets you're...
Chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets.
Nuggies.
Okay. And then he's the nugget nibbler.
Yeah.
Not eating them, nibbling them.
Nope.
But eventually, you do consume
a whole nugget.
a whole nugget. It just
takes
takes long.
Yeah.
It takes some time. So today we are talking Cormac McCarthy's The Road, a graphic novel adaptation. So we're not going to be talking about Cormac McCarthy's The Road as much as we're going to be talking about Manu Larcenet's The Road adaptation. So Spencer, thoughts? Whiskey shots, I think I gave it a 4 out of 5.
I would say that. I'll put it this way. I would have to go back and see whenever we talked about the actual book. But whatever I rated the book, I would rate. I don't know if I would put one over the other. They're both they're both good. I mean, I would maybe lean towards the graphic novel just because I'm more of a
graphic guy.
Yeah.
I will say this book with the art, because the art was amazing, showed the bleakness in a great, it made it so much bleaker than when you read the book, and the book is bleak as fuck.
Yeah. I do feel because, I did remember watching some of the movie years ago when it first came out. I don't think I ever finished it, but whenever I was reading the book, it was kind of
picturing that a little
kind of bit. Yeah, it was kind of through that lens. But yeah, what you said here, and especially because everything is in gray tones pretty much.
Yeah,
there's not any color at all really in it.
I think there is in when there's something very gory or something. There might be red.
Yeah. But yeah, it does help predict or show that just the terribleness of it all. And
then also how they're starving. The book describes it, but it's so much more visceral when you see the kid take his shirt off and he's skin and bones and sickly, and you see his dad's reaction to seeing how bad off his kid is.
Yeah, because if you did something like that in the movie, you can only do too much or so much. Especially because it's not all, it's not like they're currently walking around.
Yeah.
It's you just need it for that one scene. So yeah, it does help with that. And also and I don't know, you might be able to tell more, but in his other work is Cormac McCarthy, is he very detailed?
Yeah, see, I was gonna say this is probably the only Cormac McCarthy book you can adapt into a graphic novel. At least of the ones I read. I still haven't read The Crossing, City of the Plains, and the No Country for Old Men. So maybe No Country for Old Men, going by the movie, which I haven't watched either. I've just seen scenes. So maybe that one could be adapted into a graphic novel. But The Road is, as far as I know, at least as far as I read, Cormac McCarthy's only minimalist work. I think when we initially read it, we were talking about it's kind of like Hemingway.
Yeah,
very bare bones, which fits perfectly with the bleak world and how everything's ended, and they just the father and son, the way they talk to each other is just I'm hungry, Dad. Me too, son.
And then any of the that wasn't dialogue would be the man, the boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It would it was very punctual.
Yeah, they don't even get names. And the graphic novel adaptation does not have a lot of dialogue, whereas the book even is fairly minimal dialogue, but it still has I feel a lot more.
Yeah.
Now, there's two things I wanted to ask you. One, do you remember, because I couldn't remember, because I read The Road probably a year or two before you did.
Right, yeah.
Did he call him Papa in the book? Because in this, he only refers to his dad as Papa. And that struck me because I don't remember him calling him Papa in the book. I thought he called him, maybe he did. I can't remember.
Yeah, he would call him something, but I can't remember if it was Dad or...
I feel like Dad doesn't fit either. I don't know if he did call him Dad or not.
Father.
Also, I got more of the feeling in this book than I did in the actual novel that the kid never experienced the world before the nuclear bomb or whatever happened to cause the end of the world.
Because he's probably very young when it happened.
He gets a Coke, which is not a Coke in this. It's a made-up drink because you can't show Coca-Cola.
It's a cola.
But it's a Coca-Cola in the novel, and he's his dad finds one. He's oh my God. And I think he says in this one anyway, I don't know if he says it in the actual novel, but the kid's this is the last one I'm ever gonna have, right?
He's I'll never taste this again, right?
Yeah, something like that. So that really showed more in the graphic novel that it's this kid never experienced anything normal.
Yeah, because he didn't even know what it was.
Yeah, but then in the book, he is born either right after or maybe right before the world ends. I can't remember. But things aren't going well.
No, yeah.
Like he was so he doesn't experience a normal life. But I feel like it's shown better in this book. Now there is one big difference, which is why I like the novel a lot more.
Okay.
This book focuses more on the "Are we the good guys?" bit.
Oh,
Where the kids, like, throughout the novel, the kids, like, we're still the good guys, right? We wouldn't eat people, would we, Dad?
Yeah.
And then, like, that's shown more in the graphic novel, where in the, believe it or not, in the novel itself, there's more hope because it's about them carrying the flame. Like, that's the big thing, is about carrying the fire, and they're the good guys. As far as I remember, there's no carrying the fire at all mentioned in this, is there?
No, there's
That's the main part of the novel. Like, it's the main theme of the novel, and it's not in here at all.
No.
That's the one thing I did not like.
Yeah, the only flame that I remember seeing is like whenever they would anytime they made camp, they would always do a close up of them like lighting the little, thing so they could, cause a fire to, cook or whatever.
Yeah, but that wasn't like.
But they didn't mention anything.
Like in the novel, that was the main theme that was like carrying the flame.
Well, there wasn't any narration in the graphic novel, right?
No, it's just a straight on point of view of like what they're going through. Also, while the death is shown more, like they're walking, they see people hanging, they see cities with all these dead people. The hanging was in the novel, but like the truck full of dead people, like it's so much more visceral when you see it in the graphic novel versus the novel when it's talked about, even the basement full of the cannibal victims. It's like, okay, well, the tension was obviously better in that than it could be in the graphic novel, but because like what's down there and stuff.
Right.
But being able to see so much more of the death added to the bleakness, whereas the novel, he can describe it all he wants, but you're not getting that sense of death.
And also, if you're like dependent on your person, because keep on seeing these people like. They don't picture anything when they're reading.
Yeah. And then also, like, the way, like, the cannibals are described in the book and stuff, you get it, but when you see them, like, you really don't want them to interact with those people.
Yeah.
Like, when you see them in the fucking book, like, oh. Like, everyone in this book, in this graphic novel, was so gross and, like, fucking, it was like, okay, this is the end of the world. Whereas in the novel, you still get this aspect, oh, maybe if they go south far enough, they will find, like, more normal society or something. But no, this graphic novel makes it so you're like, nah, it doesn't matter where they go, everything is shit.
Yeah.
To the 10th degree. But yeah, other than the carrying the fire bit, I really did like the graphic novel version. I wouldn't, like I said, I go the novel personally. But that's because like the themes and what Cormac McCarthy touched on, I felt hits a lot deeper than they could do in a visual representation.
So you don't think that any of his other books would really, other than like we said, Old Country for Men, maybe wouldn't be good like adaptations? Like even if they did it like in like a series of novels.
I mean, you could probably do like in All the Pretty Horses or something. But the problem with those is now you're getting into big books. It's like, I mean, are you going to make it a series? You can maybe do that, but because like I'm thinking language wise, most of his stuff is pretty maximal. I don't think you could do. Maybe you could do a Child of God because they did a movie version of it, but it would be really fucked up.
Yeah.
You could probably do that because I don't think there's a lot of dialogue in it. You just see this fucking grotesque character, fucking dead ladies, killing ladies and doing them
right
in the mountains, dwelling in a cave for a while like a creep. It's a gross book, but I mean, I'm sure if an artist is good enough, they can adapt most of his work. Not most of it, but maybe half of his books in some regard, but it's never going to touch on like the themes and stuff. I don't think it's possible.
See, I think I would almost rather like to see like Blood Meridian because like we were having.
You think they could do a Blood Meridian graphic novel though?
Well, because it's just it's gonna be on the people who's adapting it to try to like horse. But like I mean, like it would probably help because like as we were reading that before, one of our things was like figuring out what was going on. Like
that's kind of the purpose of the writing in that book. Is it's supposed to be like Moby Dick-esque, where it's like I might not know what's going on.
I mean, you can do that too, but you can show that you know what I mean?
I think that goes back with the Alan Moore debate. It's like, well, that's like Alan Moore doesn't like a lot of his stuff adapted to movies or things because he feels that that's not the way he made it.
Yeah.
And that you're never going to get the true sense of the original work. And then, you know me, I'm full on, if you could do an adaptation that's different, but, so you don't get just the same story. Like, I don't want to see a movie that's the same as the book exactly. What's the point?
Yeah.
Like, make some changes if you think it improves it or does something else creatively with it. But like a Blood Meridian, though, I honestly don't think it's possible. I mean, they can't even figure out how to make a movie out of it.
Yeah.
Because,
but again, like, do you think that's because of like the violence and the language and stuff like that? It would have to be would have to be like an NC-17 movie.
No, even if you were able to get away with all that, I think it's just you're not going to ever have the soul of the language and the soul of the writer in it. You can't. Not with that, like that kind of book. That'd be like getting a what's another, like a Ulysses, like being able to fucking transform that into a movie. Yeah, you can do that as a movie or graphic novel story-wise.
Yeah.
Like if you're just going story-wise, but it's not going to be a James Joyce work. There's no fucking way you could do that book as a movie or a show or anything because it would just be so fucking bizarre. Like you cannot adapt the bizarreness of something like that. Like it's one of those things that only work. It's like trying to adapt a painting into a movie. It's like, well, yeah, now it's moving and stuff, but it's not the paint, it's just, it doesn't have that still image aspect to it. It's a different medium, and just a lot of times I don't think you could do that. Like, could you imagine like adapting like a really good comic series into a movie or a TV show, but trying to do it in such a way where it's not going to be like a comic book anymore? Because you want to do something that's so different, and it's like, well, now it's not. It's based on the source. Like you maybe just use the story, but it's like it's not at all like what the source material is. So I don't know if you could find that as enjoyable. I mean, you can find it enjoyable as its own creative endeavor, but I don't think it would do justice to the source material.
Now, what about whenever he was still alive? If he was just like, you know what I'm gonna do, guys? I'm gonna adapt some of my work into graphic novels. Do you think then
he did in the back of this, there's a letter from the artist asking Cormac McCarthy if he can adapt it, and he said yeah.
But what I'm just saying, like you said, like
a Blood Meridian.
Yeah, like if he was just
I think Cormac McCarthy right before he died was supposed to be working on a screenplay for it.
Yeah, because like you said, you wouldn't like you were saying like you would miss like the soul of the creator, but like what about if he's the one? Now, like I said, it's a bad example because he's passed away a few years ago now. But like, what about if he was like, I want to adapt some of my work into graphic novels? Would you then be more of like, because then it's like, well, then if he cuts something or takes something out, it's like, well, at least it's the original guy doing it.
Well, put it this way. If they made a Blood Meridian graphic novel, obviously Cormac McCarthy won't have anything to do with it now, but even any of my favorite authors, if it's like a book or something I really love and the author's not involved in any way, I'm probably still going to read it.
Yeah.
Like those H.P. Lovecraft mangas, it's like, because again, I can separate the art from the original source material and be like, okay, this is a different thing. I don't mind it. Some people get real offended by that. But my point is, like, for instance, having because I think there might be a Moby Dick graphic novel. There's plenty of fucking movies.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's probably a couple.
You're never gonna get the soul of the novel though in any adaptation. You can get a different soul because you did a different creative thing, but you're never gonna get. I mean, maybe you could get a graphic novel adaptation of Moby Dick that has pages of whale definitions. But I don't think you're going to learn about harpooning the same. You could show it. It's just not, you're not going to have the tedious boredom.
If there's any comic book fans listening, Mike's gonna like this. If Jonathan Hickman wrote a Moby Dick adaptation, they would literally, because whenever he was doing the X-Men, there would literally be like spreadsheets for a couple pages, or there'd be fucking text conversations, and it's like, are you just saying like fuck you to the artist right now? Like, cause like now like you those are 2 pages that he didn't get to draw. That's the money out of his pocket.
So maybe Moby Dick could be adaptable. I don't know. Then also though, there is that thing like again with the H.P. Lovecraft mangas, if like that is just straight excerpts and then art. So you get Lovecraft's language, maybe change, these like translations or whatever, because I think they actually did they didn't just straight up use, pages from the books. They might have used excerpts from the books, but I think they changed it a little bit to fit the story kind of.
Those are probably weird because, Lovecraft originally English, probably got translated some Japanese. And then so they published them and then changed it and translated back. So there's probably some weird fuckery going on there.
Yeah. But if you had like a Blood Meridian graphic novel adaptation and you would have to use excerpts from some of the scenes and narrations just to get it. But if you did that, maybe.
Because, I mean, there is narration in comics. I mean, it's not all just like, first, word, like dialogue and action. There are
Well, the other issue stems from the condensation of it. Like, you'd have to condense it so much, I think. Like that, like the road's good because it's such a small story.
Right.
Even though the book was like 300 or 400 pages or whatever it was, the story itself is actually small. It's not much of a story. So you could do that pretty easily. But when you have like a Blood Meridian, which is like this spanning epic almost, like that's hard. How are you going to condense that into one graphic novel? Even a 300-page graphic novel. I don't see that working well. But then again, there's like a lot of these ones like The Great Gatsby, To Kill a Mockingbird. Like there's a lot of adaptations that are really good. So I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass, but like I said, I'd read it if the right artist and the right writer got involved and did it.
Before you read it, would you ever thought they would have been able to do a Slaughterhouse 5 graphic novel?
I felt like that was actually perfect for like a graphic novel. Same with the Fear and Loathing, because I was just like, these are very like, at least when I read Slaughterhouse 5, it was very visual for me.
You're right,
because each scene was broken down with the time travel and stuff. I was just like, yeah. Because in the artistic medium, you could like just show them jumping back. So you don't even have to try to explain to keep the reader, what the fuck's happening? Oh, we're in a different time period. You can just literally just show it up by the next panel. Like, oh, he jumped 20 years into the future. So it's like, I felt was perfect for that. I thought that was very well done. I forget who did that one, but what book would you really like to see adapted? I would like to see A Confederacy of Dunces.
That could be interesting.
I think that would be funny to see a fat Ignatius fucking trying to fit through stuff, and
especially if you got a kind of more of like a cartoony.
I want to see him going to town on that glove.
Oh God!
You don't have to actually show the glove penetration, but I want to see him constantly going to town. Like they just show his door closed and you just hear fat.
I would want to maybe check out something like, I don't know, like. I just got done, reading In the Miso Soup. That could be, I would think, would be like a nice little condensed, one graphic novel.
I think all of Ryu Murakami's works that we've read and that I've read would go well into a manga.
I was also going to say, I mean, granted, like, you bring up manga, but not having read any of his bigger works, but I would imagine something like Q&A 4 could probably be kind of cool in like a graphic or visual medium.
I think 1QA4 would be one of those books that would actually like a graphic adaptation would service it well because of the condensing. Like you'd be able to condense it and it won't be so bloated. Like an Alan Moore's Jerusalem condensed into a graphic novel might actually help the reader.
Oh God, could you imagine? But okay, so imagine how many pages is the kid choking on the whatever?
Like 40 or 50 pages.
So even say if you condense it down to 20 pages, could you imagine just flipping through 20 pages of like a kid choking, just ninth grade, Watchmen style would have to be like that. You have your 9th grades and you picture and just kid just choking.
Well, obviously the other thing happened while he was choking.
Well, maybe, I don't know. But.
I'll put it this way: the 40 or 50 pages of the kids choking, you couldn't shorten them by one page.
Oh yeah,
you needed all of those pages for that kid choking. As crazy as that sounds. That might not be true. I just want it to be true because I read fucking 50 pages of a kid choking to death.
It would make it mean something.
He doesn't even die. Oh, shit. Damn it. I really want to read that book again, though. There was one scene in that book that kind of fucked me up.
Wait, Jerusalem?
Yeah.
Oh,
there was one scene in it that was really fucking touching, and it was so rough. And it was about, like, I think it was, like, Victorian England, so, like, the 1800s.
Go ahead.
Maybe the early 20th century. It was before World War I know that. There was one kid, he was like maybe 12 or something. He was like a little street urchin. It's one of the dead kids because you get like the afterlife. It's all these dead kids or ghosts. And, well, not ghosts, but something.
Spirits.
Something, yeah. But anyway, like you learn about like how these kids died. And this kid's death was, one, I think the kid... he was living in like a fucking box of some sort outside in fucking Victorian winter England. I forget exactly what happened with his family and how he ended up in that situation. I think he might have got buggered by some fucking creep in the street too, which made it, because Alan Moore's got to make it worse.
Right.
And then like it just like describes the kid how lonely he is at night in this fucking box or whatever he's in, and he freezes to death. And I think he might have had like a flint or something he could have made a fire, but maybe it got stolen, or like just layer upon layer upon layer of misery. And it's just like, God damn it. Like, why do we have to do this? And why is there fucking 800 more pages in this book? Yeah, check out Jerusalem, everyone. Everyone should read it. Great book. You know what? That's your reading challenge
No.
for 2030.
Nope.
You and Mike.
You give me.
I want you and Mike to read it as a challenge.
You can give it to like 2050 and.
But now we have the 3-volume version. That doesn't make it more appealable. Like the 1Q84, I got you the 3 volumes. Doesn't that make it not seem like a 1,200-page book?
I mean, it does, and it will physically help make it easier to read. But like, man,
You worried about the language,
and then just like
the density,
and then like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like,
you don't want to hear about snooker because I didn't realize, but that's like British pool.
oh yeah,
But it was described for a very long time about these gods playing snooker, and I didn't even know
what snooker was.
I didn't know what that was, let alone the gods, the heaven, the fucking. It's in the attic of a building. Everything was very, very hard to follow. So I need to reread it. Maybe it'll probably read it like a brand new book because I'll be like, I don't fucking remember any of this.
Before we go,
Okay.
House of Leaves graphic novel.
There's a very great graphic novel in House of Leaves, but the House of Leaves would not be House of Leaves
Right.
because you couldn't do any of the bullshit.
Yeah.
You could maybe like the main story. You could do all the side stories. You could maybe kind of include, but obviously the formatting, the words upside down and random. Like, how are you gonna? It would be dumb. Because it is a graphic novel without really having art.
Okay.
It's graphic novel in letters.
Ah.
It's dumb. It's fucking stupid. You know what? If I could find it here, I'll fish it out for. I think it may be on that show. When we get off air, I'll just let you flip through it real quick because you probably haven't looked at it in forever.
No, not probably since you finished reading it.
And that's one book I will not read again.
People keep on talking about like best horror book.
People are also fucking assholes. People think that Twilight is a masterpiece. You know,
Yeah.
There's people out there that I don't take the recommend. As a matter of fact, the deeper I go into this hard literature, the less recommendations I'll ever take. You know why? Because I am on a different level now, Spencer.
You're better.
I am a better human than you. I am reading Gravity's Rainbows, Spencer. And you know how much sense that book makes? None.
Just rockets when the guy jerks off.
I'm like almost 200 pages in, and I don't know if I hit 100 or 200 characters yet, but I don't know most of them. And I don't know what story's being told. I just got done with some kind of German section called German People.
But you like it.
And I don't know any of the German people because they weren't before the German section. They weren't brought up. You don't know why they're there, what's happening. You're just inserted into a scene of German people doing German stuff. Maybe they're scientists. I don't know. I started to get the hang of it near the end of the scene, and then it ended.
Yeah.
And now I'm on another book 2, maybe. I don't know. It's not broken up into books, but it had a big heading. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, I guess I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Here's how I explained it in the horror group I'm in. Because somebody asked, it was like, oh, what's everyone reading? Anybody reading great books or whatever? I said, I'm reading Gravity's Rainbow. And the one person's like, I'm not familiar with that. And I was like, it's a book. That's how I described it. It's a book.
It has covers. There
are words.
There's letters that make words on a page that go together.
It's one of those things where it's like, I read English, I know all these words, I understand the order they're in, yet for some reason, none of this is making sense to me. I can't explain it beyond that.
Great literature.
Apparently one of the greatest novels ever written. To who? I don't know. And I keep getting into cock stuff and butt stuff that's thrown in there. In various ways of debauchery. Sometimes it's written in a fucking Cormac McCarthy beautiful watermelon bunging kind of way, and other times it's written as straight smut.
Oh.
So I don't know what I'm getting every page, which I guess could be an appeal to some people. It's like every page could be debauchery or fucking physics on rockets. There's a lot of rocket talk.
Where a guy has a heart on.
Actually, yes, because every time he talks about the rockets, the details, the mathematical equations of the rockets, always a boner in there somewhere.
He's red rocketing.
Well, the whole point is the guy gets hard-ons when he hears rockets, I think. I don't know. He could detect rockets through his dick. It's very Pavlovian, according to the book, which mentioned the word Pavlovian 500 times. I think it's a doctor, like Pavlov's cat. Or
isn't that the guy with the dog and the tree and
yeah, that's the test or the what do they call that? Experiment.
Real asshole guy.
Yeah, but now he did that with the kid, infant and an erection, giving an infant erections. Apparently, that's why this was not allowed to win the Pulitzer Prize. The infant stuff. Now he probably would have got like the Medal of Honor.
Yeah, well,
From the current administration we have. Anyway, folks, that's a talk. If you want to read a book and you don't want to read words, I recommend The Road graphic novel adaptation because there's not a lot of words, but it is beautifully bleak. I will put it that way. I love the art. There's, like Spencer said, mostly gray colorscapes. There's grayscale and like a red scale.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about it.
And I'm pretty sure this guy does the whole thing himself.
Yeah. But just for the art alone, it's definitely worth checking out.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I would recommend reading The Road because that's one of my favorite novels. Right. It's fucked up, but like I said, believe it or not, the Road novel had more hope than this did.
Yeah.
This didn't really seem to have hope. The kid, spoiler, at the end does meet the people that might save him or might eat him. You don't know.
Yeah.
Even that seemed bleaker in this than it did in the novel. And that's weird to say that because Cormac McCarthy never has hope in his works that I've read. Very rarely does anything go well for anybody. But anyway, folks, thank you for listening. You can check us out at DPW Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Spencer's OnlyFans. He's out there in Nebraska, and he is nibbling nuggets.
No.
That's near Rocky Mountain oyster territory. What kind of nuggets you getting, boy? You can check out my website, CalebJamesK.com. I have been published recently in the Rotten Pomegranate, their Divine Comedy issue. I wrote a medieval Shakespearean-style poem, and you can read that for free. You could even just go on my Instagram at CalebJames1986 and look at the post, and I actually just posted the whole poem on there. If you want to read it, and that you might have to zoom in. I don't know. If you're on your phone, I don't know how big it is, but you could do that as well. I almost guarantee you won't understand exactly what's happening because I wrote it to be obtuse because I felt like that's what would get me in the Rotten Pomegranate, and it did.
And it did.
Because I submitted to them their last call and got rejected, and then when I looked at what they published, I was like, oh, it needs to be obscure and literary.
You started smelling your farts.
I started smelling. I had a snifter
of your farts.
of my farts, and then I was able to write that masterpiece. And maybe if I'm really lucky, I'll be announcing that I'm in Starlight.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Or more likely, next episode will be, I didn't get in and I'm mad about it, and I got a story I can't do nothing with. I'm fucking jerked, mad about it.
Big story.
Big story. Anyway, we thank you for listening. We'll check you out next week. Stay sexy.